Hello, everyone, and welcome to another HBCU Sports Exclusive interview. My name is Jarrett Hoffman, and with me is my special guest. He is an all-SWAC receiver, formerly of Mississippi Valley State, and now he's making the move from Itta to Jackson, Mississippi, to play for the reigning HBCU national champion, Jackson State Tigers, Mr. Nate Rembert. Nate, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, so let's just dive right into it. You're going from Mississippi Valley State to Jackson State. Just tell the people what are some things that went into that decision.
Uh, First and foremost, conversation with God. I felt like this is the path that He led me to. Um, Going to Jackson, and another thing that played a big part into it, man. The fans, the fan base, man. It feels so welcoming. Just from the first time I posted the offer on Twitter to up until then, up until January 1st, and even now, it's just a lot of love, and it feels like, bringing you in with opening arms.
Absolutely. So talk to me about that experience of playing the first time you played in the vet. What you obviously talk, what the fans were like, but tell people more about that experience the first time you stepped onto that field.
I mean, for one, being able to play on grass field, being from Florida, it's not a lot of turf out here. So, growing up, I played a lot on grass field. So I was just happy to come in and play on some grass. But I mean, the environment, just stepping on the field, walking into the vet, you could just feel the excitement. Like, yeah, man, it's a big crowd. It's time to put on a show, and it's like it makes you just want to do nothing but perform.
Absolutely. So for people that may not be familiar with you, people may not know that you actually started at Edward Waters before you transferred to Mississippi Valley State. Just talk about that transition coming from Edward Waters to Mississippi Valley State, playing in the SIAC to now playing in the SWAC.
Well, actually, a lot of people may not know. Before Edward Waters, I went to Jacksonville Athletics Academy, prep school out here in Jacksonville, where I am now working out. Ran by Coach Nolan Carroll. He gave me the opportunity to, play there at Jacksonville Athletics Academy, and where Coach Morgan actually saw me play and recruited me at a game down here in Jacksonville and gave me the opportunity to showcase my talent in the SIAC, where, another wonderful environment as well, being able to go and play teams like Tuskegee on their homecoming and, playing in front of 31,000 people. That was just a blessing, just to be able to even go and play on a HBCU level like the Division II level in the SIAC, and just to show people, it doesn't matter where you go, as long as you can play, you can play. So, just being able to get the opportunity from Coach Morgan and the staff to go showcase my talents there. Mississippi Valley, where Coach Wade, gave me the opportunity to come and do what I did this past year.
Absolutely. So let's talk about this past season with Mississippi Valley State. You finished the year with 70 receptions, 1,038 yards, 4 touchdowns. You were named to the All-SWAC team. Just what were some things that were working for you that allowed you to have such a successful season?
Um, you know, just coming in, day out. We practice early in the morning, like 5:30. We start our practices, and just being up, putting in the work there at practice. Majority of those plays were made in practice. The week of the game, and Coach Johnson and my wide receiver coach, Coach Sims, Grant Sims. Just pushing me each and every day, and just challenging me each and every day. New challenges to be better than the other day and then the day before, and always let me know that only someone that can stop me is me. And I feel like Coach Johnson just put me in a position to give me the ball now and just put the ball in my hands so I can create the playmaker that I am.
Absolutely. So the game that really put yourself on the map for me was probably the Prairie View A&M game, which you had your season high of 163. But I think that the game that probably put your entire team on the map was the Florida A&M game. That everybody saw Daniel Richardson at the MEAC SWAC Challenge saying they don't lose at Bragg. and then you guys went into Bragg, where a lot of people really had you losing, and you guys pulled off that upset. So talk to me about that game and what that felt like to get that win.
Man, it was a wholesome moment. Just being able to come back to the Sunshine State of Florida, and my mom, they weren't able to make it to many games this season, due to the hurricane and traveling things. But they were able to come to that game, and I remember the night before, my sisters, they came to the hotel to see me, bring me some food the night before, and I just remember telling them like, seeing y'all in the stands, knowing that y'all are gonna be in the stands, it's just something in me that tells me like I'm going to overly pop it, like I'm going to put on a show. So just coming into the game, I made it a point to put on a show. Because coming into the season, I had a chip on my shoulder. A lot of teams didn't recruit me coming from Division II. So I just made it a point to make them feel me. And coming into Bragg, I tell myself every time I touch the ball, I want to score. And first 2 times I touched the ball, I scored, but they called me out of bounds. So just being able to come back to the Sunshine State of Florida, having my mom, my brothers, friends, family, my sisters, my grandma in the stands, it just added a spark.
Absolutely. So now you're making the jump to Jackson State. You all already talked about some things that went into that decision that had that led you to commit to Jackson State. What are some fundamental differences you've seen in Jackson State? Or first of all, before we get to that, have you been to Jackson State since you've committed? Or,
No, sir, I haven't. I haven't took my visit. I'll probably go up there in the next 2 weeks, and just when school starts.
all right. So there's a fundamental difference between Mississippi Valley State and Jackson State, and the fact that obviously Mississippi Valley State hasn't been in the position to be a contender in the SWAC, whereas Jackson State is the expectation is championship. Talk about going from a team where it's a completely different mindset.
Uh, I wouldn't say the mindset is different. Because I mean, even at Valley, our mindset was championship. I feel like anywhere I go, at least, it's championship mindset. Just because a winner mentality. But I just feel like the grit to want to, is the difference between coming from Valley to Jackson. I feel like those boys are bought in and they actually want to. It's a difference between saying you want to do you want to do something, actually wanting to do it. And putting in the work to get it. So I feel like that'd be the difference between coming from Valley to Jackson, Mississippi.
Absolutely appreciate that correction. That obviously every team wants to win.
Yes, sir, most definitely.
Absolutely. So you what is your initial thoughts of Jackson State? What are some things that you observed of them playing against them and now, being on the team?
Um, I would say, you know, even from coming out into warm ups, not even just in as far as like playing in the game. I feel like even the way they come out, it's just a lot of energy. I love the quarterback play there. I feel like, it's a lot of weapons there. At Valley we had a lot of weapons, but it was more so just the fact of timing, all of that, as far as like O line and just giving the quarterback time to be able to move the ball around the field, and feel like it'll open up a lot, as far as the offense goes.
Yeah, and as far as the offensive weapons that Jackson State has, they have, a couple of guys that are funneling out. Obviously Irv Mulligan is into the draft, so he won't be there next year. But what you do have is Travis Terrell Jr., who was a sensational freshman for Jackson State, and Isaiah Spencer, who was a big play receiver for Jackson State in that Celebration Bowl game against South Carolina State. What are some things that you see from those guys that you think where do you think you fit in the offense basically with those guys?
Man, Trav, he's elusive. He's a really explosive cat. I love his game. He's a hard guy to stop. I feel like having to worry about him coming out the backfield or even in the slot. Um, and then having Spence just being the explosive guy that he is, just having all three of us on the field at the same time, there's no way that you can even try to bracket either one of us or even try to put a two-man guy, two guys on even one of us. So I feel like just giving all of us the chance to even have a one-on-one matchup, it's deadly. Because I mean I don't see anybody stopping me, let alone those two guys one-on-one, and it's gonna be some trouble.
Yeah. So talk to me about TC Taylor. If you talk to anybody who has a played for Jackson State, they speak very highly of him. We had Isaiah Guthrie on here, and he said that he was the Jackson State program. So what interactions have you had with TC Taylor, and what have been your impressions of him?
I mean, I haven't yet to talk to Coach TC. The only interaction that I had with him was during the game at the vet when we played against them. A little bit. I think it was right before halftime, right before going in the tunnel. I kind of just, I'm looking at the sideline, shaking my head, telling him like, "Yeah, we here." And he just looking at me, pointing at me, laugh like, "You a ML, man." Like, So that was a kind of cool, reaction we had. And then after the game, chopped up a little bit. What a great kind of player that I am, and just to keep balling and keep going.
Right. So talk to me about your goals for your time at Jackson State. Obviously, championships are important. We want that's self-explanatory, but what are some individual goals that you have going into Jackson State?
Well, God's willing, I was blessed enough to have the season that I did have this year. I'm very thankful, and I give all my glory to God for that. And I just want a big goal of mine is I can't have any fall offs. You know, um, coming to a championship program, and a program that already has those guys input in that offense. Coming in, I know I'm gonna have to work hard. And my mindset is, I'm back at square one. Although I did have a tremendous year in the SWAC, I'm back at square one. So it's the grind. So I have goals to, become obviously first team all SWAC again. I got honorable mention this year. I'm looking to push for a first team All American, a FCS All American honors. Trying to just elevate, do better than what I did this past season. And God's willing, it's possible, and I got faith that it'll happen.
Yes, sir. So when you talk about that work, what are some things that you feel like you have to work on that will help take your game to the next level and will help Jackson State to continue to elevate as a team?
Um, I just feel, as my game goes, I definitely want to get a little stronger. Put some muscle on me. Not necessarily weight. I just want to get some more muscle. Build up a little bit more muscle. I definitely want to get healthy. I'm not healthy, but I battled through an ankle injury. This season, so that's something that I want to, you know, get on top of quick and early, and then just being able to come in and day out and just put in the work that needs to be put in, you know, um, grinding even on the days that you don't want to grind.
Absolutely. And just last question, I appreciate you for taking some time with me. What are some things, just going back to Mississippi Valley State, what are some things that you took from Mississippi Valley State that will help you continue to develop not only as a player but as a person? Obviously, at being at HBCUs, it's bigger than sports. We take experiences everywhere we go, and you've been to two different historically Black institutions in Edward Waters and now Mississippi Valley State. What are some things that you took from Mississippi Valley State that will help you continue to grow as a player and as a person?
Um, Never take this for granted. God rest the dead, my long lost brother Ryan Quinney. Last, last chance putting on the football cleats, strapping up your helmet, strapping up your shoulder pads. You never know when it's gonna be your last. So I just one thing I took was, always play like it's your last. Whether you're in practice, whether it's a walkthrough, whether it's, an installment, whatever it may be, always enjoy it. Enjoy it like it's your last time doing it. So, the brotherhood that we built at Mississippi Valley, with some guys that I built long lasting relationships with, you know, it just showed me that you never could take stuff like this for granted. Not a lot of people get the opportunity to even play Division I football, let alone HBCU football. So I just take it on the point to enjoy what I do. Thank God that I'm able to do it, and just love it. I'm still a kid that fell in love with the game of football.
Absolutely, and God bless Ryan Quinney, who passed away this last year, a couple months ago. So, thank you so much again, Nate, for taking the time to speak with me, and good luck with in your time with Jackson State. If you want to let the people know where they could follow you or what they can look out for.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, Mr. Huffman. My name's Nate Rembert on Twitter, Nate Boogie3 on Instagram, and shout out to the Jackson State University, man. Uh, all love. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir. And thank you all for watching. If you can, please leave a like and subscribe. Please follow us at HBCU Sports on Twitter, on Instagram, Threads, all the social medias. You can follow us there, and you can go to hbcusports.com for all the latest news in HBCU sports. Until next time, see you guys.